Hi Flosstube, I'm Misty Purcell. Welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, May 11th, and I'm back. It's been a while. Semester has ended and I am honestly relieved because it's been just a long, challenging school year. But now I've got some downtime. It's been about a week that I haven't had classes and I'm really enjoying some additional freedom for stitching and designing and dyeing fabric. So if you're new here, I am a cross-stitch designer and a fabric dyer, and my cross-stitch designs are colorful and happy. So, you know, if it's not making me smile when I'm designing it, then it's not gonna get released. So I want you to smile when you're stitching it, just like I'm smiling when I'm working on it. So that's a little bit about my designs, my fabrics, also colorful but practical. So I try to, dye fabric colors that I think are pretty versatile for the most part. And you can find me on social media, on Instagram and Facebook as Luminous Fiber Arts, and my website is www.luminousfiberarts.com. So thank you so much for your comments on my last video. I was asking to hear about what you like to eat on your birthday. And it was really interesting, the variety of things that people like to eat on their birthday. It was like favorite foods that were desserts or not desserts, things I'd never heard of, things that I love too. I thought you always had great ideas for birthday celebrations, so I really enjoyed reading about that. The winners were, and I apologize if I mispronounce any names here, Diane Mazur, Terry Lane, and Stephanie Campbell Weitzman. I sent them their charts that they won already. So thank you so much for your comments. And on my birthday, which was April 30th, I had cake. I ordered a cake, I indulged. And it was a chocolate cake with peanut butter, buttercream frosting as the filling between the layers, and then the outer layer of frosting was salted caramel. Oh my gosh, it was amazing and very sweet, but delicious. I've still got some pieces in the freezer, for like emergency purposes when you need some emergency cake. I've got it. I have to pop back in because I forgot something important that I wanted to share. I'm out of practice from not doing videos very often, I guess. For my birthday, I received some lovely gifts and I'm so grateful for them, and the thoughtfulness of these friends is just amazing. I specifically wanted to share the handmade things that were gifted to me, just because I think that's really, really special. So I wanted to do that. So I received a few items that were handmade. Oh, I'm missing one. Just a second. Okay. Clearly, I've not recovered from this semester yet. Alrighty, moving on. From Christina. Christina made me this adorable pincushion. How cute is this mug? So, so cute. I love birds. Great fabric choice too. So thank you, Christina. So that's one lovely gift I received. Another one, this was not made by my friend, but it was made by someone else. So this is from my friend Melanie. Let's see if we can turn it so you can see. So this is a little like scissor fob, which is awesome. And this came from stargazinglily.com. So I gotta tell you, it's not a common name. Throughout my life, I've had very few things with my name on them, and I can think of a few things, like a bicycle license plate that probably my parents had to make. It was probably one of those things where you just stick the name on yourself or something, like the letters on. I have a keychain that someone made for me specially that has my name on it. There's very little with my name. I'm used to it, but it's very special when there is something with my name on it, because my name is so unusual. It's also very weird to ever meet anyone with my name, and very confusing if we're in the same place, because I'm just so used to being the only Misty that I assume that I need no introduction, that I'm the only one, and that if someone says Misty, they're talking to me or about me. But it's not true. I'm not the only Misty. I knew 2 other Misties in school. One was older than me and one was younger than me. But that's it. Okay, this was a gift from Sue, who you might know as Susie Reno. So she crocheted this tape measure. Isn't that awesome? And then let's see which side you push on. Must be this side, yeah. The little button is right there. So thank you so much, Sue. I love this. And I can never have enough tape measures. They're kind of like mechanical pencils. It seems like I misplaced them briefly, can't find them. And then it's lucky that I have like many so that I don't completely run out. But I'm always buying more mechanical pencils, and I seem to keep needing more tape measures. So it was a perfect gift. From the lovely Stephanie Webb. She made this for me. Oh my gosh. Can you even? Awesome. Awesome needlebook. Hope she doesn't mind my sharing. I didn't ask, I just shared. Ah, darling. Very nice. Love the Heather Ross fabric. It's super cute. She did a beautiful job. So this pillow is from my friend Helen, and she uses super soft fabric. It's so soft. It's like pajama fabric on the front and back. It's so cute. So thank you so much, Helen. This is probably from the chocolate, is it Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies by Hands On Design? I think that's what the chart was called. Super cute. And then she also made me a bee bag. So awesome. I love Helen's bags. So this is perfect size. You know, it holds the 8.5 by 11 pattern, if that's how big your pattern is. And obviously if you use like a Q-snap, it would hold that, or a hoop. I mean, it's just like a nice, generous size bag. She used a white lining, which I think is a good idea, so you can just see things real easily. I tend to like white or light linings in bags. It just seems like it's easier to find things in them. So that was lovely. So thank you so much, Helen. Alrighty. Well, those were the lovely gifts that I received. And again, thank you so much to those of you who wished me a happy birthday, sent me emails, cards, gifts. I really, really appreciated it. Okay, so let me see. What do I want to talk about today? I'm going to tell you about a finish that I have. Then I'm going to talk about some whips and a project I think I'm going to abandon, a couple new starts, etc. So let's start with my finish. This was my birthday start from last year, and it's from Agnes Platt's Strawberry Sampler, and it's called the Bee Skep. So April 30th of 2020, I turned 40, and this was my birthday start. This is by Blackbird Designs. Okay, so I finished it. And I pulled this back out because Merritt Crawford was having a stitch along. I think it was the strawberry picking Sal on Instagram. And I decided to pick it back up, and then I was making good progress, and I was like, I kind of want a new birthday start maybe for this year, so should I just try to finish this up? And then I decided, yes, try to finish it up. So I used 2 strands of floss. I was talking with Kim Goldman about this. I wanted my Bee Skep to be puffy. So this is 40 count macchiato dyed by me, but I did use 2 strands for the satin stitching on the skep. And when I got close to these cross stitches here, I did not do a satin stitch right next to it like it's charted, because this would have just covered it up with the 2 strands. But everything else is 1 strand. And I did change some colors. dye lots have changed and sometimes pattern photos may not be super accurate. So wood trail, I used 2 different over-dyed flosses that I can't tell you anymore what they are. Maybe I wrote it down. Let me tell you. I might be able to tell you. Maybe. Okay. I used, in place of wood trail, and I kind of mixed them. Like I'd use some areas of one and some areas of the other. I did Weeks Dye Works Pamlico and Classic Colorworks Hickory Sticks. I used for the red, the darker red on the house, Classic Colorworks Manor Red. And then this is supposed to be a blended threads up here, the gray, and then this little motif. And I just used Weeks Dye Works Graphite for that. Everything else is the same. I ended up changing his to its. I went neutral on that for the bee. Very pretty. I didn't use all the, you can see the little bees with the lazy daisies. I didn't do all the ones that were charted. I just did some of them. I didn't do the lazy daisies exact. I made them a little bit bigger, I think, than what I was supposed to, but it just made the wings look better to me. So very pleased to have this finished. It's beautiful, and I did finish it in time to feel justified in a birthday start. I don't know that I need justification, but apparently I thought I did. So that's the bee skep. And that is my one finish. So let's talk about what else I worked on. Where shall I put this? I don't have a good place. I guess I'm gonna be bending in and out of the photo. The floor. The floor is the best place for it. Okay, so next up, I worked on, so I participated in the 24 hours of cross stitch. I didn't do all of these in that time, and it was right near the end of the semester, so I didn't have like a ton of time to stitch, but I did do some stitching that weekend. But I couldn't tell you what I worked on. I didn't worry about it. Maybe the next one, if it's in the summer, I can pay more attention because life will be calmer. But during the school year, it's just hard to keep track of details like that. Okay, so I worked on Summer Delivery, which I started last year. This is by Plum Street Samplers. And I've made quite a bit of progress on it. I'm stitching this one in hand using the sewing method. This is 40 count Sparrow, dye by me. I've changed like all of the colors, just about. Sometimes I'm using the DMC conversion, and sometimes I just went my own way and I kind of looked at the pattern photo and then picked things that I thought looked similar in, I think I'm using pretty much Weeks. What am I using? I don't have the, what I'm doing with me. I think this is Dolphin. This is DMC 453. I stitched this a little bit differently than it's charted. This blue is Union Blue. The red, the lighter red is Aztec Red. I think this is Merlot. Hey, I have pretty good memory for that. And then this is just like 3865, I think, DMC. The green is probably just something I grabbed or else the DMC conversion. And then this is whatever the DMC was, like 3021 maybe. Yeah. So I stitched myself a sheep and some pinwheels. I think I had the flag done. I was working on this last time. I had misstitched this a little bit and I thought I wasn't gonna have to take anything out, but I did have to redo this part once I got down here. I realized it was off, but I didn't have to take much out. So this is coming along. Whenever I finish it, I finish it. I don't know. I don't think it'll be this year, but maybe next year. We'll see. Okay. Next up is another 2020 start. This is Vintage Birds. I started this last spring. I don't remember when, maybe in February. I'm not sure. This is by Jeanette Douglas. This has some specialty stitches in it, which I've enjoyed, but I like eyelet stitches. So this is a 40 count linen that's similar to Sparrow, and it's also kind of similar to my color Cinnamon Toast. It's kind of in between the two of them. So I worked on this motif and I stitched this flower. and it's coming along. You can see I've still got, you know, a ways to go. I'm maybe 2/3-ish done with this. This is 40 count if I did not say. And I'm using most of the charted flosses except this blue is Glacial Melt by Weeks Dye Works. The yellow is Honeycomb by Classic Colorworks, that like light yellow. I think those are the only changes I made. Oh, I might have changed the purple. I'm not sure. Oh, and I did change this pink. There wasn't, whatever this is, I'm just blanking, sorry. Whatever this is versus this, my skeins didn't have enough contrast. I think I'm using Classic Colorworks Used Brick for the lighter pink there. This is beautiful. So the specialty stitches are the Eyelet Stitches. I only did half of them. The whole peacock should have them, but I just started alternating because you stitch one color. Well, I stitched one color and then there's another shade of like blue-green that you would do the other one. I just started with one and then I was like, oh, this looks good, I'll stop. And then there's a little bit of specialty stitching in the urns. I don't know if there's more, I don't think so. I'll find out, but it looks like it's just pretty much birds and alphabet at the bottom. So I guess that's when, I guess all of them, I started the bee skep in a hoop and then I switched to stitching in hand, and then both of these are stitched in hand that I just showed you, the Summer Delivery and Vintage Birds. So I guess 40 count and above, I am often stitching in hand these days. All right, next whip. So this one was interesting because I wasn't sure if I would keep working on it, like if I would restart it. I wanted to stitch this Beggar's Fourth by Threadwork Primitives. I really like Nan Lewis's designs. But I stitched it on 56 count and I was not sure if I was loving the 56 count, but it's just one of those things where, like anything, it just takes a while to get used to. And so like I got more into it. I'm also stitching this in hand with the sewing method and I'm really enjoying it. So this is 56 count Sparrow, which is dyed by me. So I occasionally offer 56 count in my shop. And I was trying to decide, do I like 56 count more than doing something like 27 count over 1 or 28 count over 1 or 25 count over 1. 25 count over 1, I think I can still count pretty easily, but I find like 27 and 28, the stitches are small and there's something about them being over 1 that I find it more difficult to count them to see how many I've stitched. Like that's more challenging. I find it not as difficult for some reason on the 56 to count how many stitches I've made. I don't know why. This is over 2, not over 1, but you know, they're similar in size. The thread frays a little bit more on 56. I'm using 1 strand. I did change the colors. This is Gentle Art Presidential Blue, which is just beautiful. The red is Licorice Red by Classic Colorworks, and then the white is, I think, Angel Hair from Weeks Dye Works. So I wanted something slightly grungy white, and I got it. So I'm enjoying this. I really like how it's coming out. It's awesome. And then the called for, whatever black this is, what is the black? I don't know, I can't see it. Whatever the black is, I'm using it. So I'm gonna keep going. It turns out I do like stitching on 56 count. It's not something I'd wanna do like all the time, but it's just kind of like over 1 stitching. I like doing it now and then, and I like tiny stuff, so that's what I'm doing. With anything, people will, I'm sure, make comment to tell me how they cannot possibly see on 56 count, and that may be true. What I've found is that I thought that I couldn't see certain fabrics, and then I got my Brightech light and I could see things so much better, even though I thought I was using good lighting. The Brightech light has made a huge difference for me. I mean, not even using I'm not using the magnification, but the light itself is just so good and so bright that I can see. So that is one thing. You might think that you can't see something, but your lighting may not be bright enough. Maybe it is. The second thing is that it takes a while to adjust to seeing things. And it's not like, it's hard to explain. It's not like I can see everything like perfectly. I mean, I can see it, but it's not like I'm looking at it with magnification. It's like not that level of like seeing it on like 32 count or something, you know, it's just, but I can still see the holes enough to stitch or to see where I should go. So I don't know how to explain that except to say that like, it's not the same level of like obviousness maybe, but I can still see it. And you kind of just get comfortable with that. I don't know, maybe it's different from other people. If you stitch on 56 count and you have a comment about your experience with it, tell me. But I would just say that if you're used to being able to see something and then you switch to something that's harder to see, it's going to be frustrating at first and it's going to take a while, but you can adjust most likely. Or you do it for a while and you're like, this is too hard, which is what I was doing. I was like, I'll see if I like this. If it's too hard, I'll stop. So I picked something small to see how it would go. And I like it. So I think I would do it again. That's my 2 cents. I'm not saying you have to stitch on 56. I'm not saying you're going to like stitching on 56, but I'm just saying that in general, if you want to try something new, any count, any kind of fabric, that you have to give yourself a little bit of time to adjust to stitching on that fabric. You're good at whatever you were already doing, and you're gonna have to be uncomfortable for a while if you're gonna try something new. True of many things in life, right? Oh, okay, one other whip before I show you this. So I think, and I know some people will be sad because they encouraged me to keep going with this. This is super cute. But I tried to pick it back up during the 24 hours of cross stitch and I just wasn't feeling it. And I haven't been feeling it. So I don't know what the point is of continuing. This is what I have. It's not very much. I did make some progress on her, but I was just like, like it's cute. It's not a bad design in any way. I really like it. That's why I wanted to stitch it. But I don't know. I don't see how I'm gonna plow through on more of it. I guess maybe it just felt like too slow going. Like it felt like I spent a lot of time on it and I wasn't really getting anywhere. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I'm probably going to abandon that. Do you think I should give it one more chance or should I just let it go? 3 strikes, you're out, or move on? Move on now? You can vote. Should I give it one more try? I don't want to get sucked in though and then have to finish it because I did so much on it. I don't know. You can tell me what your thoughts are, but I'm just kind of leaning towards piecing out on this one. Okay, so that is all of the whips. And then I have 2 new starts. So my birthday start, I've been wanting to stitch something from the Garden Samplers booklet for a long time by Prairie Schooler. And this particular one that I started is called Garden Gate Sampler. It's the end one here. So I started that. I'm stitching this. I decided I was gonna use my fabric, but I just felt like, I don't know, like using a different color. I'd gotten in some solids from Zweigart and I liked the color of them. So this is Cafe au Lait, which is more kind of like that color. Then of course you can't see the stitching. This is 40 count Cafe au Lait. I think it only comes in 40 and 56 count if I remember correctly. So it's from Zweigart and it's just a solid. I had some like hesitation. It's weird. So I pulled the colors. I thought they looked very autumnal when I was pulling the DMC, and which I thought was odd because it definitely looks, you know, summery, springy to me. And I wasn't like loving the colors. I thought it looked kind of dull. And I was like, should I change them? And so then I was like, maybe it's just how it looks up close. Then I set it across the room and then I looked at other people's and I debated for a while because I have to overthink things. So I think I'm fine with it at this point. I think I'm coming to accept it, but it just, sometimes like this color, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a green. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's green. I was like, I don't know. Do I want my bird to have green on it? like it's supposed to be real, but it works actually. It just, yeah. What can I say? So I'm gonna keep going. And I think I've accepted the colors. Except there's one, I don't know, there's like this, you can't tell from this picture, but that grape color is more like mauve-y. It feels very 80s. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I might have to change that one. I've moved on from the 80s pretty much, except for the music. Okay, and then lastly, for the Blackbird Designs weekend stitch along, which was like the day after my birthday, I wanted to start, I have a Blackbird Designs piece going that I could have worked on, but I was just going to take it as an excuse to start something. And so I started Summer Jubilee, which is also, if you don't have this book, it's also in an old issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. But you should really get this book. I like a lot of the projects in it. That one in particular, and that one. And then I might also stitch that one. But these two I think are high up on my list. This would be super cute over one, by the way. Just saying. I happen to have a piece of the 18th century Blackbird in my stash. Sometimes I can get it from the distributor, and so I don't have any in my shop. It's just whenever they have some, I try to order it. And if I'm fast enough, I get some, and if I'm too slow, I don't get any. I'm using the charted colors, except I might, so, okay, this is the color of the white that's in the flag, which is fairly yellow. And I mean, you can tell that in the picture. Let me show you the bigger picture again. Like it looks yellowy, but it kind of bugs me. So I don't know, I might change in the flag only. I might change to like a slightly less yellowy white. I don't know. I'll see when I get more of it stitched what I want to do. But I started in the middle. I worked my way over. I'm going to finish up this side and I'll work my way back, I guess. And this I'm stitching in a hoop because it's 32 count and my stitching tends to look better in a hoop when I'm using 2 strands. Did I say it was 32 count? I probably just said it like 5 times. It's been a rough whole year. Okay. I think that's it on those things. So let's see, what else do I want to talk about? A couple things about my shop, and then I'll tell you about like some plans, a little bit of a life update. I just got in some charts from Brenda Gervais that are patriotic. I've got Red, White, and Bloom and Happy Birthday America, which comes with the alphabet fabric for the finishing. So I'm not sure how many I have left, but I just got those in. And I have some other patriotic designs too. I just had a shop update, so if you go to my shop, you might find a little bit of my fabric left. And if you want to receive notifications when I have new fabric or new designs, the best way is to sign up for my newsletter, which I will put a link below the video so that you can do that if you'd like. And so what have I been up to? I mentioned that I have new designs coming out, so I've just been finalizing those. I was waiting on one design to come back from the framer, and now I'm waiting for the proof to show up, which should be here today, and then I can order the last of the charts and send out my newsletter to shops. So that should be happening fairly soon. What else have I been doing? Like I said, finishing up the semester, making plans for the summer. Yeah, it's a relief to just do one thing for a while instead of juggling so many things. So it's been a good, I didn't really take a week off because I'm not good at taking time off, but I dialed it down for about a week in terms of like what I was gonna do and how hard I was gonna work, I gave myself a break for about a week, and it was really peaceful. Like, that's the best way to describe it, is peaceful. I need more of that. So I'm kind of not really doing Stitch Mania. I'm just doing Stitch-What-I-Wantia, is what I'm calling it. So I've been working on whips, been doing some model stitching, and if I feel like starting stuff, I do. So the first thing that I do want to start, I think I'm doing, if I do any new starts, I seem to be in a Halloween and patriotic mood, and fall kind of. I'm stitching that stuff right now, like my model stitching is that. And then as soon as that's done, I'm moving on to Christmas stitching for model stitching. So it's just kind of my life. But I'm designing for next summer. So my head is all over the place, and that's fine. I'm kind of used to it at this point. But anyway, back to what I was saying before I got off on this tangent. So I want to do some Halloween starts this month if I feel like starting something. And then I think I might switch to doing some patriotic stuff for my enjoyment, for my recreational stitching. The first thing I want to start is this, which is called Wicked by Barbara Anna. I've wanted to stitch this for a while. I feel like it needs to happen. It's only 4 colors. It's, what does it say? 2 solid DMC and 2 of the color variations. And I'm thinking of 40 count so I can just stitch it in hand with the sewing method. The thing is, I was debating on fabric, and I figured I would just do something really light, and I was thinking macchiato probably. But then I was like, well, maybe soft porcelain, and then I was like, maybe something gray, and then I was like, oh, maybe Snow Day, which is more of a gray-green blue color, and then I was like, well, does that really go with my Halloween? And I don't have much. I have like a tiny bit, like a little bit of pops of purple and that kind of greeny color in my Halloween, but just like a couple things. I try to keep it mostly like orange and black. So I feel like I might, by changing the fabric color to that, throw off my decor scheme. So I haven't started it yet because I'm still debating on fabric. I might go back to the idea of a gray or just a really light color. I don't want to do white. White's more stark than I want. I don't know. I have to look through my fabric again. Feeling indecisive about this one, but I do want to start it. It's just fabric that I'm, debating. How about you guys? Are you stitching a Stitch Mania? Are you doing a Samia? Are you doing something at all? Are you just doing what you normally do? Are you doing a bunch of sals? I am working on my Christmas in July stitch along. About to start working on writing up the pattern for that and order the floss, and I'll start dyeing the fabric soon for that. Really excited about it, and have been waiting for the framer. So I took it to the framer, I don't even remember when, and we found like the perfect frame for it. It's been there maybe like a month and a half now, I'm not sure. Yeah, anyway, since maybe like the end of February. And anyway, so we found the perfect frame, and the problem with the moldings is that it's hard to get them sometimes. So they called around. I mean, they didn't need that much. The piece isn't that big, but they called around. There isn't a piece of that frame in the United States anywhere, at any warehouse. So they're like, well, it looks like it's gonna come in maybe May. I'm like, all right. And I'm trying to not stress about it because I would like to have it ready as soon as possible in advance of this mystery stitch along that I'm going to do for you. And then I checked in with them, and they're like, oh, like mid-April. I'm like, okay. So then mid-April comes, and they're like, nah, it's back to May. And so then I went there to pick up my last design that's for this May release. And they're like, they assure us that it's in the country and that we should be getting it next week, which was last week. So I haven't heard anything, hoping. I know I'm asking them to stretch it at this point. I was doing my own stretching. and I just feel like I don't have enough time to wear all the hats anymore, so I'm gonna let them stretch it. And I'm just waiting to hear back, and hopefully they did get the frame. We did pick an alternate option that I think is pretty good if the one I wanted continues to be unavailable, but I'm hoping that they did get it and that I can have that here soon. So, what else? Not much. I'm just gonna try to enjoy my summer and, you know, work on some new designs and do some stitching and catch up with friends. Making plans to go see my mom pretty soon. I'm looking forward to that. So I hope that you are well and that you've been getting in lots of stitching time. And I will check back in with you soon. Take care.